Well, as you've been seeing, it's been a brutal fire season and still early. So far, the federal government says more than 6,500 First Nations people remain evacuated from their communities, and politicians are pleading for help in their ridings. Our Truth in Politics panel looks a bit different this week. APTN's Danielle Paradis, who's just got back from Fort Chipewyan in northern Alberta, where fires are mere kilometers away from the airport. And joining us, as always, is Kerry Benjoe, a journalist and publisher of Eagle Feather News in Saskatchewan. Kerry, Danielle, thanks for being with us, the two of you. Kerry, let's start with you. There have been 206 fires this year so far in Saskatchewan, which is way up from the 5-year average of 138 fires. Indigenous communities in Saskatchewan are being hit hard by these fires and even floods every year. Kerry, why are they disproportionately affected, do you think?
It has a lot to do with infrastructure. You go to any First Nation, a lot of these northern reserves, well, even reserves in my area, don't have fire equipment, fire trucks, firefighters. We don't have the roads to access some of the housing. And so when these sort of situations hit, we don't have the simple infrastructure. We don't have the roadways. We don't have the water. We don't have the training. And a lot of northern reserves are situated in very isolated areas. And so it's even difficult for outside sources to easily access and protect these communities. It's often left up to the communities to try do their own fire prevention. And often what results is they don't have the resources, so they have to flee and just wait to see what they come back to, which is just really sad, and it happens continuously. We go through this almost every year.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, you were up in Fort Chipewyan. What is the situation like on the ground there?
Yeah, it's very similar to what Kerry described. There were some programs for preventative fire that were cut 7 years ago, according to Chief Alan Adam and other residents that we spoke with. However, the difference is that the community, they know that they're isolated and that they are taking steps to make sure that they're sprinklering their structures, that they're not just seeing a situation where they evacuate and wait to see what comes next. It was very important to the community that they stay empowered and that they have some presence on the ground to help make sure that there is some place to go back to.
Yeah, Danielle, what do people there think of the federal response so far?
The federal response is showing up through military. It's really a joint effort with the municipality, with forestry. So there's not like a clear, here's where the federal government comes in, here's where the other people are coming in. But what I'm hearing over and over again is that there needs to be more attention on the preventative aspect, that we need to make sure that people in the community get their certificates for firefighting, but also have the funding to maintain those certificates. A number of people did get that training, but the certificates expired and there wasn't money for ongoing training. So now we're looking at situations where they're getting certified in the middle of wildfire season before they can actually go out and help.
Kerry, fires are burning coast to coast, and now the smoke has been making its way to Toronto, Ottawa, New York City, where the powers that be are. How could this attention and international attention, do you think it could help First Nations on the ground?
I think for the situation to resonate with the greater public, there needs to be more attention paid to the communities. Go out there and tell the stories, because right now it's just fires raging, and there's not enough people. There's not enough people's stories happening, so people aren't connecting. You know, the seriousness of these fires. They just think, okay, well, you know, you need to out your fires, but they don't see the people being affected until we have a face on these fires. You know, these Indigenous communities in the far north, these fires are catastrophic for them. And until the general public actually sees the devastation that it's having on people and human beings, I don't think we're going to see much public pressure to rectify this current situation. They're just going to be saying, okay, well, you guys should out your fires, or you guys should do something, kind of thing. They're not seeing the severity that we see.
Danielle, how are people coping with the evacuations?
It is very emotionally difficult to have to evacuate your home. We spoke with people who were in hotels in Fort McMurray, so they were evacuated out of the flyout community. Some of them had to take a 5-hour boat trip down through Athabasca Lake into Athabasca River down to Fort McKay. And although they are all very grateful, they're expressing a lot of gratitude to their chiefs, to the communities working together. It's still incredibly hard to feel disconnected, to not know what you're going to go home to. And I am hearing instances of drug overdose. I'm hearing instances of just some social problems that have popped up. And that is also something that we see when evacuations happen. At the same time, there was a crib tournament that we were talking to when we were on the ground, and people trying to keep their spirits up, especially the elders. So there's resiliency, but there's also a lot of pain.
Danielle, Kerry, we'll leave it there. Danielle, thanks for your work up there and for filling in for Negon this week. Kerry, always great to see you.